Is there a girl that you really like? That's great, but do you know how to talk to her? To keep a woman interested, engaged, and wanting more from you, you have to know the secrets to have an amazing conversation. So stay tuned to learn all of the tricks to great flirting and enchanting conversations. You don't want to miss out on this. Like and subscribe. Talk about interesting things. No one wants to listen to someone droning on about boring, meaningless topics. Dates can be daunting, particularly the first ones. It can be hard to find the right words to say and equally challenging not to let your nerves get the better of you. But this doesn't mean you should just talk about anything. Bring something new, exciting, and intriguing to the table. Talk about things which will pique your date's interest and keep her engaged. It might sound a bit strange, but you could even perhaps write down a list of topics or interests which you think will keep the conversation flowing nicely. If you think things are getting stilted, then refer back to that list for a helping hand. Ask about her lots. When you are on a date with a girl, it is super important that you let her know that she has your full attention. A good way of showing this is by asking her questions about herself. Ask her what she's interested in, what she's passionate about, and what she aspires to do. Keep her interested and show her that you are there for her. Many men make the mistake of talking about themselves way too much, and this can be really off-putting for women. So make sure to keep the conversation centered around her. Get rid of any distractions, silence your phone, and stay focused on her throughout the duration of your date. Be yourself. Be authentic. Your date is there to meet you and to learn all about you, so don't go putting on a fake show in an attempt to please or impress her. Of course, put your best face forward, but don't be disingenuous. Dates can be intense and often quite nerve-wracking. It can be tempting to mask in and attempt to calm your nerves, but this doesn't do you any favours in the long run. The last thing anyone wants is to fall in love with someone who doesn't actually exist. So be natural, stay true to yourself, and keep things genuine. Speak respectfully and maturely. You can tell a lot about someone by the way they speak and conduct themselves, so be a gentleman. Don't cuss too much or talk in a patronizing or condescending manner. We're not suggesting that you have to use perfect English or talk in a way that's not really natural to you, but be mindful of the manner that you are speaking in, and if you can, keep it classy. You want your date to hold you in a positive regard and to feel respected and valued by you. So make sure your manners are top-notch and your behavior is top tier. This will ensure that she leaves the date thinking about how comfortable you made her feel and how much of a bombshell gentleman you really are. Positive body language. Your body language speaks 1,000 words, so don't slouch, smile often, and keep eye contact. You want to ensure your body language is warm, open, and engaging. And it's also a good idea to get rid of distractions, your phone. Constantly checking your phone is a common habit for us all, but it can be very off-putting for the other party in your company. So be aware of her body language too. If she starts showing signs of being a little bit uneasy or uncomfortable, check in, make sure that she's feeling okay. Chances are it might not even be you. She could just have a headache or has had a really bad day at work. Showing her that you notice that shows that you guys can go a long way. And if she's giving you positive and engaged body language, then please reciprocate. Don't talk about things you have no knowledge about. There's nothing worse than someone chiming in with their unsolicited opinion about a topic that they have absolutely no clue about. If your date shares something with you and you are not sure what it is she's actually talking about, then just ask her. Humility is super attractive, so don't pretend to be a know-it-all. It won't do you any favors. You want her to leave the date viewing you as an intelligent, charismatic, and a witty person. Share interesting facts about you. Where appropriate, share fun and interesting things about yourself. If you are on a date with someone, chances are pretty high that they like you and they do want to know more about you. So don't shy away from talking about yourself at all. You can share things which would make great conversation starters. Perhaps your line of work, countries you've traveled to, your unusual hobbies or activities you've recently taken up. Talk about things which will make your date amuse and and engaged, whilst also helping her to learn more about you. This one's very important. Make future plans during conversations. One of the major keys to flirting is to continuously drop subtle hints which highlight your interest. One way of doing this is letting her know that this is not the last time you want to see her. Casually slip in suggestions for future dates into the conversation. For example, did you see the trailer for this movie? We should definitely check it out together. You are keeping it smooth and subtle without pressure or expectation. Just some gentle hints that you're super into her and want to ensure that you get to do this again soon. And it's also a great idea to close out your date by arranging a future date to meet. Of course, this will only work if your date is receptive, so don't force his interaction if it doesn't feel natural. Don't try to fill the silence. Silence is not always bad. In fact, sometimes it can be really helpful. A little silence gives each person space and time to process their thoughts, feelings, and assess how the date is actually going. Now, of course, we don't mean sitting in silence for extended durations of time, but a couple of minutes of silence here and there can actually be really healthy. Plus, you don't want to end up talking a lot of nonsense in an attempt just to fill that void, right? Let the silence be. It's only awkward when you make it awkward. And as with all of these tips, always be mindful of your date. If you sense the silence is making her uncomfortable, then find a gentle and light-hearted way of kind of breaking it. Avoid deep, heavy topics. Heavy topics are rarely suitable during dates with people. An ideal date will be romantic, funny, interesting, and memorable. So bringing up topics which might cause strong emotions to surface is unlikely to be a good move. Stray away from conversations which may open up debate and strong opinion. It's also important to recognize if a seemingly normal topic appears to be a difficult one for your date. For example, you may innocently ask about her family and notice she suddenly becomes very quiet and guarded. This would be an indication that she's uncomfortable with the topic, so don't pursue it, change the subject, and move on. You want your time with the lady to be one where she feels safe and happy, so avoid any potentially triggering or heavy topics of conversation. End positively. You want to leave your date with a smile on her face. End it positively, however that may look for you. It could be a cheeky kiss and the promise of meeting the following week. It could be a dreamy walk along the river before you part ways, or offering to walk her home or to let her into the car. However you end the date, make sure it'll leave your girl feeling optimistic and holding you in high self-esteem. You want to be the person that she is super excited to tell friends and family about. And if you haven't already, it's a great idea to pencil in a time and a date for a future meetup. This also helps with a positive ending because you have that reassurance of seeing one another soon, so end it on a high note.